I'd like to imagine a vessel like a ship, but not a ship that moves through the sea, but a ship that moves through space and time. So this imaginary ship has a particular kind of fuel that is made by thought and feeling. So let's imagine for a moment that we're all on this ship together and we're moving through space and time. And I hesitate to call this the Earth. I want to think about it a little bit differently. So imagine that, I know the Earth moves through space and we're all on it and we're all cared for, but I want to think about superimposing the image of a vessel or a ship. Maybe it's a spaceship, but in my head it looks kind of like a giant ocean liner. But the ocean would be like the ocean of consciousness, the field of consciousness, the vast sea. So we're navigating this vast space together, all on this vessel. And the vessel is powered by thought and feeling. So coming back to this idea that we need to get clear with our own selves, what we're thinking and feeling at any given moment, and bring our consciousness into the story of our lives, to the daily story of our lives. What are you thinking now? What are you feeling now? Can you redirect this most powerful force that you have right in your hands of directing thought and consciousness? As moves thought, also moves prana, or the life force that rides on your breath. So imagine back again, we're in this vessel together, and everyone has this we're making fuel for it. So we're moving forward. We're moving in a particular direction. And that direction keeps shifting just slightly depending on the collective consciousness. And so I'm over here in my space and I'm aware that the ship is moving in this particular direction and it feels good. And then I look over to my side and I see somebody who is not contributing consciousness the way I want them to be contributing consciousness. It's not like on my team, on my direction, because my trajectory is way over there. I'm going to the promised land over in this direction, and it looks like they're going in the other direction, and it's making me mad. But all this time, as I'm doing this calculating and this witnessing and this blaming, I've lost my energy. Like imagine it's like, you ever have those dreams where you are flying and you have to hold your thought to be able to fly? I know I'm not the only one, but maybe not. It's not like universal that we all have these flying dreams. In my flying dreams, it's like if I keep my mind just right, I can fly. And if I start going off, it's like losing balance somehow, and I sink and sink and sink. So it's almost like this is a floating vessel, and keeping yourself with yourself is a way of floating and floating the rest of the vessel together. We all become light enough, I guess, to float. And then shifting your awareness or your consciousness off into other directions, other places, thinking you'll, kind of like I don't know, trying to control other things outside of our potential of control, then we start to sink. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about how we all are in this together. And the only thing we have any hope of controlling is our own thinking and our own consciousness. And we can stay in these beautiful places, fully aware, fully receptive, not hiding, but staying with ourselves. And in fact, that is the power of moving the larger vessel of all of us in the direction of peace and justice and equality, and away from these kinds of power dynamics that destroy all of us. They're not good for any one of us. And that's what I'm thinking about this new moon. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Anne Headley, and this is my podcast, What is Going On Anyway? Where I take some time every couple of weeks to check in intuitively, imaginally, and creatively with the new or full moon. I use my imagination and intuition together to tell a story by surfing the present moment and sharing it with you. This is something like channeling, yet my experience is that it's more of a hybrid of imagination and inspiration, and possibly a very good way to brainstorm for the future. I hope this encourages you to look for your own waves of presence that fuel inspiration, intuition, and courage. Ultimately, I hope this becomes an internal revolution of self-worth, which I believe is necessary to usher us into the future collaboration of being here together. I'm especially interested in my own and others' experiences of spirituality and the question, what are we here for? What is the meaning of life? Now, I think I want to answer that. There's always answers to be found when you're asking good questions, and I think that's a good question. If you're ever wondering what to ask someone, you can always ask them, what do you think the meaning of life is? And sometimes it's not the right question to ask in the right moment, but it's good to keep in your back pocket. Try it. Just see what happens. What do you think the meaning of life is? Especially someone who is elder to you. I don't think our elders get asked good questions often enough. That was just my public service announcement. What I'm getting back to is one of the answers of the meaning of life, or close-ish to that, I found the other day. So during the pandemic, lots of our lives turned online. And during that time, I thought I was going to get all educated. And so I was remembering all these old places in my life and where I was reconnecting with different places in my life that I hadn't reconnected with. And ages ago, when I was a young yoga student and I was looking in all directions to be I want to say accomplished, but I wanted to take all the classes. I wanted to study with all the teachers. I wanted to be, I wanted some achievement. One of my teachers at that time was Dr. Robert Svoboda, teaching Ayurveda and yoga philosophy. And to my mind, he was the best of the best. And I really only studied with him a couple of times, going to weekend workshop type things where he would lecture all day. And actually, that was something that revolutionized the way I attend things, because I was a good student, or, I was a student that did well in the system of American public school education. Education. See how well I did? But I was a note taker. And I remember getting to that workshop and all of us good students pulled out our notes and we had our notebooks. And he said, he was really strict about it too. And it's funny to me when I think back on it. It's like, I will not continue until you put your notebooks away. You cannot possibly listen to what I have to say if you're busy taking notes. And I was a little offended because I was like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wanted to just be a good student. But it completely revolutionized something inside of me, revolution, revoluted. It turned something in me that was really true, that I was hiding behind the note-taking, that it was hard for me to sit and just receive whatever I could receive, knowing that some of it would go right over my head. And if I had notes, then I could look it up later, or I could go back and study it. But really the experience was to sit with it and receive whatever I received. Whatever hit me in this moment, metabolized inside of me in the moment, was for me to have. And whatever didn't. It changed the way I approached learning. And also, of course, it changed the way I thought about learning with my own children. That's not really what I want to talk about right now. I purchased this course on Teachable with Svoboda, and it was like, you have lifetime access. So of course I didn't do it. It was just sitting there waiting for me. And then I got this notice that, oopsie, it's not lifetime. In fact, if you don't download it before this certain date, you won't have access to this course anymore. So that's what I did. And in the course, this stood out to me, and so much that I want to share it with you, because it attends to the idea of what is the meaning of life, even though it's not what's the meaning of life. This is it. Get your notebook out, but don't. The purpose of the universe. And right, you want to know this, right? What is the purpose of this? The purpose of the universe is to get consciousness to manifest itself in the densest possible matter, which is the earth element. And then to be able to turn its awareness back in the direction of the supreme reality. Now, I have to tell you that was mentioned before this. What is supreme reality? It's sort of the state of even consciousness that isn't being why was I going to say that word, mucked about. It isn't being thrown about with preferences and aversions, and it's not like divided into itself. It's just that pure ocean of consciousness is the supreme reality. Sort of under everything is a long pulse, because it might not even be a pulse at all, but just a long, even awareness. So, back to this this answer for you. The purpose of the universe is to get consciousness to manifest itself in the densest possible matter, which is the earth element, and then to be able to turn its awareness back in the direction of the supreme reality so that the self can perceive the self. So the self can appreciate the self. So the self can love the self. That quote is Robert Svoboda. I love it. And it gives me that, all of this heavy, the feeling of density, the hard things that are going on for each of us and for our friends and our family. I mean, I don't have to look very far to find really hard things going on around me. Painful, difficult circumstances that are hard and heavy and dense to navigate. Some of the worst of the worst. And to imagine that inside even that density, the purpose of the universe is turning back to supreme reality and pulling consciousness through so that there is a reflection, self, perceiving self, appreciating self, loving self. And so those moments when you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, when you hold your hand on your heart and you say, I love you, when you're driving down the road and feeling stressed out and then you take a moment and you exhale, Say, oh, I love you. I love being here. I love being in this body. I love being here. As hard as it can be, there's something about being with myself. Incredibly unique experience in the universe to inhabit a human body. I love this. I love this. Maybe that's the meaning of life. I hate to lay it on you like this, that I, whoopsie, solved the question, don't need to do this anymore. Maybe that is the meaning of life. So combined with understanding that recognizing ourself through all of the hard stuff, and how we do that is by working with appreciation. It's not easy so much to get there. It takes a bit of training to re-inhabit our mind space, our thinking space. We've been sold this idea that if we hold unworthiness, I don't even know how this happened, but there's this sort of ubiquitous okayness with believing in the unworthy, having this inner self-talk that's pretty negative, unkind, and perpetuating an idea that we're only worthy if we can be valued against a system that also doesn't value us. And going against this is tricky and it's hard and it doesn't feel easy or even good sometimes. In the beginning, it feels like lying to oneself, making things up. Yet it does feel good. And it starts to feel good and better and better. And I promise you, as a practitioner of how many years have I been doing this? It might be going on 10 years now that I've actively encouraged positive self-talk. Maybe a little more. I mean, if you go back to when I first found Louise Hay and the affirmations, that's been quite a long time. But see, I only used that like allopathic medicine, where I would use it when I was desperate. I would use it when I was car sick. I move freely and easily through time and space. I move freely and easily through time and space. It worked, but then I would drop it. And now it's been about 10 years where I don't do it all the time, but I try to start my day with positive self-talk. I love you. I love you. And if I can't say that it's like changed my life, but it feels good. It feels a whole hell of a lot better than hurry up, like the first thing out of bed. Get out of bed! You're late! You know, that doesn't feel good. That like, emergency! For whatever life is throwing at you. Gosh, it feels so much nicer to be like, good morning, sweetheart. Here we are. What are you excited about today? What are you looking forward to? What do you need help with? What do you think is going to be hard and you want a little extra support with today? Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning. You're allowed to do this. You know, that is exercising freedom. You're allowed to talk to yourself however you want. And if you don't like the way you're currently talking to yourself, I promise you, you have the ability, the freedom, the courage, you've got the drive to shift that. And it might shift the trajectory of your life. Going back to this idea of the vessel, all of us being on this vessel together, that positive. And I hesitate to say like positive and negative, like working even in a binary at all. But having self-talk that feels like something you want to hear, that feels soft and expansive and energizing and supportive and nourishing, that's the direction of taking full responsibility for the occupation of your body. Nobody else can do this for you. And we need each one of us to be doing this so we can float this vessel in the direction that we want to go. And when we drop that, it's like we start sinking down, and then some other, is nefarious the right word here? Force takes over steering that vessel. And it's not really humanity steering. It's not really the integrity of each one of us connecting to our integrity that's steering it. That's what we need right now. I believe that's the kind of change that we need in the world. And it feels like a battle. It feels intense. It feels like I want to tell you, you better say nice things to yourself because I want this ship to float. And as soon as I do that, and even when I say it's a battle, do you feel, I don't know if you can feel that. I can feel it in me. It shifts just a little bit. And I'm out of that buoyant place inside of me where I'm staying with myself. In that place of buoyancy, when I feel it really working for me, I feel excited about ideas and connections. I feel excited about the joyous things that other people are doing. I'm not even trying to like frost this nicely with the joyous things, but I'm excited about the ways other people, when they're connected to their integrity, the choices and the creativity that comes through them is absolutely fascinating. And that's the kind of world I want to live in. So be nice to yourself, please. Let's do this together. Okay, that's all I got for you. I want to move right into the I Ching and see, dear I Ching, I do enjoy you so much. Please let us know what would be the most helpful hexagram or hexagrams to receive right now to guide us in this moment for this new moon as we move into a new season. And we move into this equinox, north and south, spring and fall, wherever you may be. It's a shifting of seasons. And what a great joy to shift seasons. The hexagram we get is 2. Earth, receptivity. How are you being guided? How can you lend your strength? So when you sit with yourself in self-reflection, there are certain things that you are good at. Not to use, again, good and bad, but there's certain things that come easily to you, that are natural to you, that when you engage in these activities, you find peace and joy even. You feel your passion the gears of your passion being turned when you're involved with certain things. And then there's other places in your life where you don't feel that. You feel you have to really work hard and you're striving towards. But there's certain things that when you know yourself, you know, this is just the makeup of me does this thing well. And that's what we have to offer the world. The gifts that we have to offer to the world are things that come easily to us. They're not things that we're always constantly struggling and stressing over. Certain things that are just natural gifts and they bring joy to us and others. That is the direction that we're meant to be guided. That is our strength. So lending your gifts to the world is a way of being guided by your integrity right now. Hexagram 2 is also known as field and yielding. You think about being gentle, being receptive. Hexagram 2, earth, field, yielding, the receptive, is named Dark Animal Goddess. The door of the Dark Animal Goddess is called the root of heaven and earth. Like an endless thread, she endures. You can call upon her easily. She who has found this mother understands she is a child. When she understands she is her child and clings to her, she will be without danger when the body dies. This goddess carries an ancient heritage of symbols. The mother of the world, so quiet and so empty, acts through these images and seeds to give security and refuge to all creatures. She is the divine, clairvoyant something of the woman's way. Field opens, yields, and enfolds all things. She is the flow, the provider, welcome everywhere, the opening that receives the seed of force. Her hands give blessings. She receives the dead. She is the mare roaming the earth tirelessly. In the body, field acts through the spleen and stomach, stabilizing and transforming nourishment. She rots and ripens, governs the free flow of ideas, controls and protects central energy. This brings me back to the idea of using this feeling, this sense of the receptive to soften inside, to speak kindly, to be the receptive, soft, supportive mother that we all need and maybe didn't get as the portal of the human mother that we got. But we all have the ability to reach into this field, feel that receptivity, and connect to that dark animal goddess that is there to support. I love the idea of supporting and protecting central energy. It makes me think of the main central, the midline, the spine, and how important it is to feel the integrity of our innermost being. I love that we get changing line 3. This is the place of hidden excellence. The spirits hold you. If you don't succumb to the need to accomplish something immediately, you can bring all your plans to a beautiful completion. Think of what is distant. This is a far-reaching time with far-reaching effects. Keep your words clear and close to the facts. Release bound energy. The situation is already changing. And from one of my other books, this time is a subtle study in non-action as a way of attaining real meaning in your life. And this idea of keeping that vessel afloat by staying with yourself, staying with your good thoughts and feelings, and staying very close to yourself feels like a kind of non-action. It's not an action out in the world. Within yourself, spend time alone in objective thought as you consider the direction of your life. Meditate upon the idea that everything on earth, good and evil, is supported by nature. Strive to broaden your attitudes and opinions and view the world with an open mind. Objectivity will keep your natural response pure, while it gives you great stamina of character and inner calm in dealing with the outside world. Here, when I read the interpretation for the third line, this one's clear. Leave the pursuit of fame to others. Concentrate instead upon doing the best job possible. If you conceal your talents now, you will develop naturally without interference. The time will come later for you to reveal yourself and your good works. And I think I like this interpretation of line 3 the very best. There is an inner treasure here, already whole and complete in itself, needing nothing added. You can stay true to it without concerning yourself with immediate personal achievement. So even as you work, perhaps to realize that inner potential, you know that winning something to show for your efforts now is not so important. It's sufficient that the work be completed in the end. It moves to Hexagram 15, integrity. To experience integrity is like coming face to face with your real self, plain, simple, and unadorned. To have integrity is to be whole, at one with yourself and with reality. It means being honest about your own capacities, holding yourself in creative balance with your world, and not exaggerating the importance of your role. These qualities enable the noble one to bring whatever work presents itself to completion. Since she is not overly full of herself, she has space for the real world. She isn't hampered by an excess or by a lack of confidence. Since she isn't caught up in a personal story and doesn't have to identify her work with her worth, she is free to do what needs to be done and move on. Gosh, is there anything else that needs to be said? I think, or I wonder about moving from Hexagram 2, from the receptive, from being wide open and receptive to the soft mother inside, the earth mother inside, and then letting that heal us enough that we can move into the questions of integrity, or Hexagram 15. What is the simple reality? How might you return to a state of balance? And what if it didn't all depend on you? So that you could stick with the thing that you bring to the table easily, simply, bringing your gift out into the world. And again, do I read that again? Since she is not overly full of herself, but she is enough full of herself, she has space for the real world. She isn't hampered by excess or lack of confidence. She isn't caught up in a personal story, and she doesn't identify her work with her worth. So the soft mother gives us worthiness, nourishes us with worthiness, and then we're free to do what needs to be done and move on. This possibly is a time of many things needing to be done and let go, done and let go. So this isn't a time of great achievement, but it is a time of long goals. It is a time to dream big and shoot that arrow far into the future. And with that, this is your new moon. This is your new moon in Pisces. Let's see what happens for each one of us. I'm so glad you're here with me. I really love it when you reach out to me after listening, or sometimes mid-listen, to throw ideas and questions and wonderings my way. Please do reach out, and please share this podcast widely. I love it when I see that my podcast followers' numbers have gone up. And it's a reminder each month that you're out there, that you're listening, and that even this small offering of this small podcast matters in the world. So thank you. You can find me on my website, www.annhedley.com, ANNHEDLY.com. May you be well, and may you know peace, and may all beings everywhere, whether known to me and us or not, may they be well, and may they know peace. Bye for now.